Yeah, I'm looking rancid this morning, but um, we're playing around with the idea of streaming. So we're gonna be editing this morning. I'm gonna try and. Okay, so this is currently going off of my phone. So we're gonna try and pull this up, from my browser here, so we can try and, well, okay, so I don't actually expect to have viewers to interact with, so I'm not necessarily anticipating that being a problem this morning. I'm checking the shot. What have I got? I got one of those little ring lights, but I'm also like heavily backlit. I can barely keep up with lighting when it's in Blender. All right, what are we doing? I do think I'll probably put on a hat for this. Button my shirt up. Gotta be proper in here. I am, of course, very much joking. I understand this is incredibly informal. We're making notes about how this production process works. And the next step is to, we're hardly done here. We're about halfway, third of the way done. I wrote a script for a 3-minute short video, and then I read the script, out loud, like as like an actual, and it was 15 minutes long. So we're just gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna take the first 5 minutes of this and turn it into a 1-minute short, and we're about 19 seconds into it. I've made, it feels like 2 edits, but it's actually, because I've been mostly taking out breaths and everything. I'm just writing down what I'm doing. Alright, the programs. I've got, I'm getting into the habit of, you just pull up Firefox without it even keeping track of my stuff, and I just look for open source software, to edit audio, or open source software to edit video. That was the word, video. Which today is OpenShot. That's not the one we're using right now. That's going to be the next one that's right over here. With a tutorial coming up for me and everything. Oh, yeah, we should pull up the... We can't do that. I'm going to pull up the chat just in case anybody's popping in, because of course we're still off of my phone, so the screen is pointing that way and I cannot see any of you. I think I've done this once before. Oh god, that was ill-conceived. It was this whole thing. I was trying to enjoy myself, and I did, but I also stressed myself the fuck out, so it's a learning experience. It was an important life event. The canon, yes, one with the Spider-Man. My stream. I'd like to look at my stream, please. Yes, my channel. Thank you. Oh God, it says 6 people are. Hello. How are all of you doing? I hope you're enjoying my pajamas. No. Oh shit. I gotta mute it. I gotta mute it before we do the thing. Okay. Hello, Maria Madsen. Hello, how are you? So I'm spitballing an idea for how to have something in life that's enjoyable and sustainable that isn't just going to work and coming back from work and doing things. So I have been making characters and such, and a lot of 3D sort of environments. That was my thing. Is that for a couple of years I got really almost quite decent at making 3D environments. The tool I use is Blender, so that I'm not really trying to appeal to other artists, though I'm happy to see you guys. Whatever anybody wants to stop in, that's awesome. It's good to see everybody. I'm not gonna do the wizard today. If you're here for the wizard gnome, that is not necessarily what we're doing this morning. I'm working on a Stellaris video where I had the script. It's over here. Not that. Not that one. Oh, yeah. I don't have this set up so I can see the chat at the same time as everybody. Okay, so yes, hello. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. I will pop in to see if anyone has said anything from time to time, but for the most part, this is just a technical run. I've got the little tripod set up to make sure everything works, and I've been going through and I'll pump up the volume here so you guys can hear it from my phone, and we are editing the Stellaris video. That's what's going on here. Look at this guy, an alien in a hat and jacket. All right, the winter sail. I'm taking out all the breaths in order to make, because that's how you make a YouTube short, right? You take out all the breaths, you throw a bunch of graphics at the thing. Anyway, we're doing the audio at this point. That's what I was writing down here. So we're currently on this stage where I'm editing the sound and adding in all of the sound effects. I have this joke in mind where I put in like a sensor tone, and it's enough that where you can hear it, but it doesn't blot out the swear word at all. I know we're gonna see how that feels, because I think that might be pretty funny. Alright, editing video. I'm still figuring out the pipeline here. That's why I'm making like pages and pages of notes of like how I do different videos. And it's mostly silly. It's mostly just fretting. And so on that note, I'm gonna get back into it. We'll check chat one more time. Yeah. Hello. Hello. But not Mass Effect. Perché tenemos solamente en italiano. I really like this joke. I might take it out. But I do want to introduce like the multilingual aspect because I'm really trying to learn Spanish and have been for a very long time. So that's just like most of my games are set to be in Spanish, and it does kind of like I think it adds a healthy spin to it, especially for someone who's starting streaming now in 2026. And it's not like I want to do video games. That's the other thing. Is I'll probably end up doing video games just because I spend a lot of time playing video games, but I don't necessarily want to try and be a video game streamer. There's other people who do that much better than me. This is a behind the scenes for how I'm making this particular Stellaris short. I was adding in a sound effect. That was where we were at. And Stellaris. Yeah, I'm right there. We're gonna add in a sound effect. It just downloaded it. To a dedicated folder for this project. How's everybody doing today? I'm eventually going to get like a dedicated screen, and we'll probably have like a camera up here that I'll actually look at, and I don't know. There's a bunch of different options. I had this webcam. I thought we were gonna. Or it's not a webcam. No. It's a GoPro. It's a GoPro that I was trying to use as a webcam, and you can't do that really. Like, at least not in the plug and play, like super duper easy kind of out the box way that I was wanting it to work. I'm sure there's some products that do that, but this one was not that. So the 180p will have to wait for later. Although I did think to use my iPhone here instead of this other, the more default Google phone or whatever I ended up with. Anyway, Bad Omen. Yes, that was the sound effect. Come on. I want to put these all on one line. So as I may have mentioned, this is or may have forgotten to mention, excuse me. This is the Audacium. It's Audacium. Audacium audio software. It's open source. It's just one of the things that pops up on DuckDuckGo when you search for that. So we are still learning that, and I was trying to import a sound effect here and get it on the same audio track as, there we go. Or actually right below, that's what it was. Probably fade it in or something. Dolores. And Stellaris. We have multiple takes here, of course. I gotta move this around so you can see the screen if you can't see the screen, because if you can't see the screen, it's gonna be very silly. Oh no, you can, yeah, okay, that's fine. This is pink lemonade drink from a powder. I had some that had electrolytes in it. This is not that. It's just pink flavor. Okay. How do we split this? It's not that big of a deal, but it's like... I don't like messing with the multi-tool. That's what I figured out so far. I just prefer slotting back and forth between the... Right, okay, so there's a toolbar up here. In this Audacium software, there is a little tiny toolbar to help you do all your different things. There's a multi-tool that does a bunch of things by accident that you don't want it to do. Copy, cut. There is the time shift tool, which I've mostly just been using for, just moving the different things around, which I think is what it's for. And the select tool, that can actually let you select things. It's like relatively intuitive. I really like open source because it's intuitive, or like it's designed by people with my particular brand of... Okay, So, which tape do we like better?
Stellaris.
Or?
And Stellaris. Stellaris.
I'm wanting to save a lot of the loudness, like, normalization till the end, but I didn't for this particular joke.
Not Mass Effect.
So I'm going to have to keep that in mind, because that's going to get super duper quiet if I run the entire thing through loudness equalization. Anyway, I'm also making a conscious effort of being okay with it being bad, and that's part of why I'm in my pajamas, and why, you know, when I take my hat off, because it's a bit warm in here. I would show you my thermostat. It's very old, except I don't want to try and reset that shot. That's a perfectly good shot. Hello. This is a standing desk. Well, no. It's a bedside table for a hospital. But I got it from Goodwill. That's where I got it from. And I'm using it as a standing desk where I can push it up for when I'm playing video games, but I don't want to be playing them for very long. Because standing up is relatively self-regulating. Don't lock your fucking knees. You want to know what kills your knee? I should probably not get into the habit of swearing on stream, huh? Alright, anyway. Here is the general gist of this joke that I'm working around right this second.
Stellaris.
A good joke? A good transition?
Stellaris.
I love the sound design of this fucking game. It's so good. Okay. Alright. There's also this as an option.
Stellaris.
Yeah, let me get it again. Okay. I'm gonna make that sound a lot during editing, so be advised that's part of what's going on here for me. Alright, here's the other option for what it can sound like.
Stellaris. And Stellaris. Which is, as mentioned previously, absolutely hilarious. Nailed it. Easy transition.
How are you guys doing? Is anybody here? Oh, good. All right. Good to see I've scared everybody off. That's all I got pretty much. Is just, I'm going to be doing this for a healthy minute. I'll probably keep the stream on. Just, you know, as a case study of what this can look like. It's not going very fast, of course. I'm mostly, like, excited about the stream or my pajamas or whatever. Like, to be clear, I'm not above putting liquor and then drinking, you know, like into a little plastic water bottle and drinking. I've definitely done that before in my life. It's not necessarily something I plan to, but I feel like I want to address, you know, because it's like 10 a.m. on a Thursday. I'm a little teensy bit disoriented and scruffy, and this is, you know, intermittent levels of grody. So I want to address, this is the, as previously mentioned, pink lemonade drink. Not sponsored. And, I had a joke there. And, I'm definitely not a, like, you know, I have wine glasses. I just generally use the wine glasses. But I'm not above not using the wine glasses. If I need to just get a sippy cup. I suppose I never thought about it like that. Alright.
Stellaris.
I actually do kind of prefer it the first way.
and Stellaris.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Hilarious.
Stop congratulating yourself with the recording, dickhead.
Nailed it.
No.
Easy transition.
Shut up.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Yes, hello. That's the joke. Okay, that's the next joke we're doing here. Thank you. Probably give it like a solid... I don't know, like a quarter of a second, half a second? I want to let that joke kind of... hit you.
Hi, I'm Paul. Today, we will be discussing a brief... Today, we will be... Today...
This is the part that I grabbed that short out for the other day from.
I'm Paul.
There we go. Alright. I'm going to need to do something with like the normalization on that. Yeah, get the audio to work right. Focus.
Look at this guy. And it...
Alright.
And Stellaris. And Stellaris. Hilarious. Today, we will be discussing a brief... Today, we will be discussing a brief... Today, we will be... Today, we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay. Alright, here's the next bit of... I'm sure it's going to be plenty... Yeah, I just want to, hit in like 40 seconds, minute of like reasonably... I know what I'm going to do. Alright. Do I want a pause
Paul,
after this joke?
alright. Today we will be... Paul, today we will be discussing in brief a grand... Today we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris. If you're anything like me, you will have been introduced to the name Stellaris.
This recording is not great. Okay, I am fully with you here on this. This is okay. Alright, cool. I'm probably gonna keep this on for a little bit. I'm not gonna necessarily impulsively jump over to see if someone's asking questions, because there was like 5 people or whatever in here, and one of them said hello, and then they never say anything after that. So okay, cool. I just don't want to be rude. I just don't want to be treating you guys like the stress slushy. All right.
Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
The reason that like audio artifact is happening that I'm hearing there and it's bothering me enough to be like, oh, we're gonna do something about that, is it's because I'm using this microphone. Look at this. nonsense. It's from putting it. It like. This is like a pilot's micro. This is like a youth pastor's microphone. Okay? But yes. That. Some lore. That was my introduction to the tech shit. So I really should know off the top of my head how to freaking do that audio adjustment. Because I was doing it live 10 years ago. No. How old am I? Oh my. No, yeah, 20 years ago.
Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
I don't even think that's accurate. I'm pretty sure like you can't even get this game without DLC at this point. Like I have 2 DLC. I have no idea what. Oh my god. So there's no end to like the kinds of things that you can do with talking about Stellaris. So that's part of what. Okay, and the joke. I wanted to do another joke. Oh, not that. I wanted to do a joke where I put the sound effect back in again.
Discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements.
Yeah, let's just drag all that out.
Discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock.
I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. It's not that funny. It is not that funny. It is not that funny. It's not that funny. I mean, it's funny enough to do it. Don't get me wrong. It's funny enough to do it. Alright, here's the joke.
And Stellaris. Hi, I'm Paul. Today we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
I got some deep thoughts here. There's a lot going on.
If you're anything like me, you will have been introduced to the name Stellaris via cultural osmosis.
I really hope I can save a lot of this in the editing, but for the not editing the audio. I mean like punctuating, but like for the most part, you know, like being a voice actor is like a whole skill set. It's like a whole like actual field of work that people dedicate their entire lives to, and that's not what I'm doing here. So we're gonna see what happens here. We're gonna pop that out for right this second. You do kind of have to have the setup of fumbling the name a couple of times in order to have this like multiple beat joke. Okay, fuck it.
Solaris.
We're gonna stick it back over there.
Introduced to the name Stellaris via cultural.
Yeah, it's just a bad take. I gotta take that out. Like it's just not a good line read. You know, and it's important in life to be able to just acknowledge that. How do I go with this?
You likely already run in the lane of space adventures and choose your own destiny.
And getting us back to who wrote the. Alright.
Perhaps you have enjoyed science fiction in the past, and the phrase Gestalt consciousness just won't let you go. Or maybe one of your feeds figured it out for you.
That's a good joke, though. But you need the setup. Okay. I'm really torn here. I'm really like this is the behind the scenes experience.
Stellaris is fucking hilarious. Look at this guy, an alien in a hat and jacket. Alright, the winter sale at Steamland 2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco.
There's definitely more breaths that I could take out there.
Stellaris.
Alright, and this second pause is completely fucking unacceptable. That's gonna destroy. But oh goodness, okay. Oh no! I'm gonna have to shift everything back a second. Is that how that works? Okay. That's horrendous. Oh no. That's severe. I gotta watch out for that. Alright. Okay, so part of what I'm running into here is that this is a program that's meant for like making music. It's not meant for making short videos necessarily. Maybe. I think that's gonna be my best guess. Fuck. Okay, let's see how well we can line this back up.
Stellaris is fucking hilarious. Look at this guy, an alien in a hat and jacket.
It's just not a great line read, but we're powering through. It doesn't matter, like, every single step of this process is like that. It's like overcoming perfectionism. It's also lowering your standards, okay? These are both happening here. This is part of what is going on. It's what we're doing. Alright? So everything that I understand about this is that this is a required step. You must let go of your ego. Required step.
Alien in a hat and jacket. 2015 has netted Dishonored. The winter sale at Steamland 2015 has.
There's a pause there. Is it this?
At Steamland.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we're getting rid of that.
The winter sale at Steamland 2015.
I mean, part of what's driving me to do this is that I really am convinced that so much of this is literally just formulaic. Like, you just take every pause out with an edit, so you give the impression of an unrealistically energetic and breath haver level of a fucking human being. Don't say swear. Alright. I'm just gonna have to repeat that to myself. Because I don't think it makes you make less. Yeah, that's what it is. No, I don't think it will get you banned, but it will make you make less money. So I'm not making money at this point, so it doesn't necessarily matter. But you don't want to get into the habit of saying thwith to a general audience. Yeah, this is pajamas, not underwear. No, don't be absurd.
2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco Elysium. This will be irrelevant later. But 2015 has netted Dishonored.
Did I say 2015?
2015 had.
Okay.
2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco Elysium. This will be irrelevant later. But not Mass Effect. Porque tenemos solamente en italiano. Este bien. No importa. And Stellaris. Hi, I'm Paul. Today we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
Alright, okay. So you really have to have this track done before you can start adding in sound effects, huh? At least, with the way I'm doing it right this second. Alright, good to know.
Hello and welcome to Stock Brief, a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
Okay, that cuts up 2 minutes.
Hello.
We're just taking out the breath.
Hello and welcome to Stock Major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
Take that cough out. Alright, and move the entire sound effect right there. It's gotta preempt it. It's gotta be funny. The timing is what makes it funny, and it's a short, so we can try out one timing.
Welcome to Stock Solaris. Stock Solaris.
I want it to start at the beginning of the word Solaris instead of at the end. Or I want the beat to hit at the beginning of the Alright, let's see how it sounds.
Stock Solaris.
This is pretty good.
Stock Solaris. Stock Solaris.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's pretty good.
Stock Solaris. Perhaps you have enjoyed science fiction in the past and the phrase.
Alright. The dorky bad reading of a dorky bad script, I don't think is necessarily going to be quite as endearing to a general audience as it is to me in the editing room. So we're gonna see.
Or maybe one of your feeds figured it out for you.
Oh, I really want to use that joke. But the setup doesn't work. The setup doesn't work without the whole part I stumbled through.
This is immaterial. Don't worry about it. Incidentally, I really want to thank Paradox for giving me.
Don't talk to them as peers when it's your first fucking time with them. Alright, cool. We're going through some personal growth. This is what's going on here. Alright, where the hell are we? So in this whole setup, this part where I'm going into this top part. No.
Today we'll be Today with science fiction in the past, and the phrase Gestalt consciousness just won't let you. 3D environments described as, oh, but yeah, because that's why there's no transition. Incidentally, I really want to thank 3D environments described as, right. So we are balancing.
So this is why there's a 15-minute fucking script read, because the script's not streamlined and the recording was superfluous. No, that's not the right word. Gratuitous?
Destiny featuring. This is immaterial. You are all an inspiration. Thank you. I've heard. In other news, which is just absolutely zero transition there. I've heard 3D environments described as, oh, but they can't, because that's why there's no transition. Incidentally, I really want to thank.
The problem with writing as a stream of consciousness, or speaking in that way either, is that the different ideas emotionally lead into each other. Like, they're different emotional beats internally, and that's what's trying to be communicated. And, you know, for one, that's a fool's errand, but also they fall apart even internally on their own merits as soon as the order in which they were delivered and the speed at which, you know, like, as soon as you try and change the medium, it stops working even on its own merits.
Destiny featuring math. Perhaps you have enjoyed science fiction in the past, and the phrase Gestalt consciousness just won't let you go. Or that's why there's no transition. Giving me the confidence to just start slapping systems together on top of each other, because that is a beautiful way of making a video game. Art. I don't know why, but this term is viscerally correct to describe what Paradox creates. Right. Okay, so we are balancing your interest in art. I don't know why art is mathematically perfect art. Way of making a video game. I've heard 3D environments described as mathematically perfect art.
You know, I'll probably just use that phrase somewhere else in my life.
Right. Okay, so we are balancing your interest in.
I don't care. That wasn't the right thing to record.
Right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of the begging to exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, new to Stellaris, because I cannot be alone here. There's literally hundreds of dollars of DLC and thousands of hours of investment between my ass and the heart of this community. At least the loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit. You have to understand. Like the third faction on the list.
The reading is really just not very good. The script is also just not very good.
Yeah. Like the third faction on the list, when you boot it up, the first thing, you know, if you'll look back,
15 minutes, it's all that.
fucking hilarious. Okay, one of the first human factions, one of the first factions you'll play, you know, went crazy, went mad, and the upshot there was that now they're in charge, and that's it. That's the only difference. Humans are still there, still just chilling, hanging around. What did I actually write here?
Fucking devastating. Okay, this is just, you know, even the attempts to unflinchingly look into. Please tell me the rest of it was doing other takes. No, it was continuing to read through this.
Colonize it, excuse which for the builder is to go behind the scientist and claim.
I didn't think it was possible to make something worse than someone just ad-libbing a game that they've spent way too long playing and trying to identify with an audience that... And this is definitely worse. Like, obviously reading from a script is definitely worse than, like... Okay, so I'm hoping there's no live audience right this second because I don't have my chat up. I was hoping to get like at least... Oh, it just doesn't sound very good. It just doesn't sound very good. Might have to start from the top again.
Stellaris is fucking hilarious. Look at this guy, an alien in a hat and jacket. Alright, the winter sale at Steamland 2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco Elysium, this will be a little bit later, but not Mass Effect. Perché tenemos solamente en italiano? Este bien. No importa. And Stellaris. Hi, I'm Paul. Today we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solaris.
And that's about as far as I can get before I just can't stand the temor, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but the context, the tone, the way it sounds of, like, obviously reading off a script that is ad-libbing and then ad-libbing on... No. It's just not reading it in a very compelling way. I mean, in fairness, like, it's... I'm trying to remember what the important beats are here. I think it's Alien in the Hat, Custodians. Most people are like, oh, genocide. The punchline is genocide. No, that's not funny. So I'm really trying to create like a valid sort of, I mean, not like create from nothing, but like add to the pile of Stellaris stuff that is, plus, you know. Oh boy. I mean, it's not like the first 30 seconds aren't cringe too, but like specifically the cadence, that's the word I was looking for. Cadence of reading from a script bothers me so much. Even if it might objectively be a bit of a step up in production value and like thought put into my videos.
Thank Paradox for giving me the confidence to just start slapping systems over top of each other.
Now that particular tone, because literally, like, I am just the nobody of nobodies. Like, I want to back down from using that tone, but I don't know if the overall tone of the video can really survive me taking out all of these elements that I actually, like, were able to deliver with a somewhat straight face. Like, you know, deliver the line. We also don't have a lot of jokes in here. I'm struggling, tripping over, getting in between like 4 jokes.
There's an investment between my ass and the heart of this community. At least the loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit. There's an investment between
Okay, you know,
that I am.
it gets back into picking apart the stream of consciousness. The emotional beats are all real. The emotional beats are all good, but they don't actually communicate the idea once you start picking them apart and putting them back together again.
Right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of the archetypical spreadsheet enjoyers with a hypothetical audience that I am begging to exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, new to Stellaris, because I cannot be alone here. There's literally hundreds of dollars of DLC and thousands of hours of investment between my ass and the heart of this community. At least the loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit. You have to understand. Like the third faction on the list, when you boot it up, the first thing, yeah, if you're looking for Gestalt consciousness, at least. No, I went back. I went back and I did this.
It's so hard to do. Like to do it, and to listen to it, and to keep going.
You have to understand. The custodians of the earth are fucking hilarious. Okay, one of the first human factions, one of the first factions you'll play as when you pop this up, is droids, like robots that, went crazy, went mad. And the upshot there was that now they're in charge, and that's it. That's the only difference. Humans are still there, still just chilling, hanging around. What did I actually write here? Wanted to play as Gestalt consciousness. Yeah, that's totally a thing that everyone approaching this game does. Yep. For you,
I'm glad for this stream. I wanted to get that in there somewhere.
Saw the phrase Gestalt consciousness in.
I was really trying to have a Gestalt consciousness lead.
I'm reading the joke I wrote here, and it's a bit hard to follow, even for me. Okay. So it comes down to, I forgot the name. I still don't know.
Biotrophies. Just get to biotrophies. I remember this.
Of the Earth in English.
It is custodians.
Check this out.
It's the custodians of the Earth.
The joke is they son los custodios de la tierra. You ask.
Yeah, that was a bad joke. I forgot about that for a second.
From the real world. Oh, that's fun. Apparently the Catholic Church has an appointed position on the job.
The opportunity will present itself again. Not to worry.
Alright. Anyways, so it's these robots, presumably who are not Catholic. We're keeping that in from previous iteration of the joke. I will brook no arguments on this. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Who are just in charge, the robots. And don't let the humans do anything. We went over this.
And that's what kills the joke.
So.
Ugh.
Anyway, which can feel odd at times. But
This is like a solid 4 minutes
the phrase
of
used to
chat.
communicate these social positions for the humans in the scenario. Biotrophies. Employed as biotrophies. We can't just explain the joke, but come on. Oh my god, I love this so much. Oh, the alien abduction jingle. I have to find it. Where is it? I didn't find it.
Alright, there we go. That's the video. That's the rest of the video. Okay, awesome.
There is an abduction jingle thing, like a...
Awesome.
Anyway, I promise you, it is profoundly funny to go... Right. Okay, so we are balanced...
No! We're C. Control C. Now, leave that. Focus over here. Come on.
One of the first human factions, one of the... So, right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of...
Where was the second half of this?
Excuse me, colonist ships. How to Stellaris? Through trial and error. Totally came across. Right route. Okay, dude. What is Stellaris? It's the feeling of a remarkably plausible space competency. How to Stellaris? Through trial and error. Previous cultural osmosis, but trial and error. There are space anchor. Right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest. Solamente en italiano.
Bad joke. Doesn't matter. Staying in. Come on. Paste. Alright, there we go. Awesome. Alright, and we are going to take out the vast majority of everything going on in here.
Right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of the archetypical spreadsheet enjoyers with a hypothetical audience that I am begging to exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, due to Stellaris, because I cannot be alone here. There's literally hundreds of dollars of DLC and thousands of hours of investment between my ass and the heart of this community. At least the loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit. You have to understand. Like the third faction on the list, when you boot it up, the first thing, if you're looking for Gestalt consciousness, at least you have to understand. Like the third faction on the list, when you boot it up, the first thing, if you're looking for Gestalt consciousness, at least I went back. Fights like robots that you'll play as when you are.
This is awful. This is terrible. I hate this so much. Okay. Focus. Please focus.
Teamland 2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco Elysium. This will be a little bit later, but not Mass Effect. Today we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so right. Oh, right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of the archetypical spreadsheet enjoyers with a hypothetical audience that with
It is literally just a breath? Not
with
anymore.
a hype sheet enjoyers with a hype
Oh, there was a breath there? Not anymore.
a hypothetical audience.
Oh, a breath? Nope. A teeny tiny breath. Fuck no. That's how you do it.
Right. Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of the Okay, so we are balancing here the interest of the archetypical spreadsheet enjoyers with a hypothetical audience that I am begging, I am begging to, I am begging,
Let's just tune that down to teensy bit. Just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. Come on.
beg, beg, I'm begging to exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, new to Stellaris. I'm begging to exist. Maybe to exist. Maybe to exist. Maybe begging to exist.
Here, let's fix the voice getting out.
Begging to exist. I am begging to exist. I am begging to exist.
We smooth that.
Begging to exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, new to Stellaris. Because I cannot be alone here. To exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, new.
That's a breath. They might be trying to have.
Because I cannot be alone here. Alone here. Here.
Yeah, we're just gonna take that air out.
Not be alone. There's literally hundreds of dollars of DLC and thousands of hours of investment between.
Oh, a breath? The teeniest, tiniest breath? Not anymore.
Between
A pause? Nope.
as at the heart of this community.
Oh, that little last chubby bit of my sentence that I didn't like?
Community, at least the loudest part.
Oh, and the pause too. Why not?
At least the loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit. You have to understand. Like the third faction on the list.
Do I want to turn this into a joke? Probably not, no.
You have to understand. Like the third faction on the list. When you have to understand.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna leave it there. Okay, that is the 1 minute mark. Slot the rest of these back over into copy. Wait. Just to try and keep track of everything.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Yes, hello.
Today we'll be.
Thank you. Very amusing.
A grand strategy game in space with major. Hi.
Okay. Muting that entire set of tracks. Do we want to add sound effects? Probably. What kind of sound effects we got? What kind of space we got?
Stellaris is fucking.
Okay, we're gonna want to do a background thing. And one. And another audio track. How do I add another track? Add new stereo just to keep it pretty. Alright. Up. Up. Up you go. Alright. Alright, so what I've got here right now is a 1 minute section of this recording where I've taken out all of the me stumbling over my words and doing it over again, and all of the breaths for the most part. You know, all the breaths that I want to take out. This probably take out some more breaths actually, because getting it under a minute is a good idea. So this is like another second or two.
The loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit. The loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit.
You take that out. Alright. So what do we got? We have about 2 seconds over a minute. I will probably try and take that out just from...
That I am begging to exist. Maybe from the Steam sale, due to Stellaris, because I cannot be alone. There's literally hundreds of dollars of DLC and thousands of hours of investment between my ass and the heart of this community. At least at the heart of this community, at least the loudest parts that you see. my ass at the heart of this community, at least the loudest part.
Alright, that gets very choppy very quickly, but it's, yeah. It's basically turning a human voice into a song? I don't understand what music is, so...
Word if you see one on the freaking subreddit. At least the loudest word if you see one on the freaking subreddit. Part of this community, at least the loudest word.
Ooh, okay, too choppy, too choppy, too choppy, put it back.
At the heart of this community, at least the loudest parts that you... At least the loudest part.
I do want to chop it though, so bad.
It's the loudest parts that you see one of the... At least the loudest parts that you see one of the freaking...
Okay, fine. It's not good, but whatever. Serviceable. Okay, seriously, the first couple of
This is fucking hilarious. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. An alien. Hilarious. Look at this guy. An alien in a hat and jacket. Hilarious. Look at this guy. An alien in a hat and jacket. Alright, the winter sale at Steamland 2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco Elysium. This will become relevant later, but not Mass Effect. Perché tenemos solamente en italiano. Está bien. No importa. And Stellaris. Hi, I'm Paul. Today we will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello and welcome to Stock Solar.
You know, as scripts go, that's, I mean, not scripts, but as like short videos go, that's reasonably tight.
Hi, I'm Paul. Today we will be discussing in brief.
I just fumbled.
We will be discussing in brief a grand strategy game in space with major role-playing elements. Hello.
Yeah, that's just pretty tight. Okay.
At the heart of this community, at least the loudest parts that you see on the freaking subreddit.
Okay. Fine. What have we got? I wanted to do music. Some kind of Stellaris. The Stellaris music gets kind of old. I mean, not nearly as much as a whole bunch of other types of these games. So, like, Paradox definitely knows what they're doing there. Like they have good music, but you know, there's only so much you can do with music, background music that you're gonna hear over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, I'm gonna rot my freaking teeth out. I got candy recently. I've been eating candy while I've been at the computer. That's gotta rot your fucking teeth out. So, this is not a sound from Stellaris. It's just like a generic space sounding type of sound. I said. should be fine. What is this? Oh. Doesn't look like that.
Not Mass Effect, perché tenemos solamente en italiano. Este bien. No importa. And Stellaris.
Can we focus and just let me see what it sounds like?
Stellaris is fucking cool.
Yeah, Stellaris is fucking.
An alien in a hat and jacket. Stellaris is fucking hilarious. Look at this guy. An alien. In a hat and jacket. Stellaris is fucking hilarious. Look at this guy. An alien in a hat and jacket. Alright, the winter sale at Steamland 2015 has netted Dishonored 2, Disco.
We need to do something with the sound, and that ain't it. Well, shit. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start collecting these sounds from the Stellaris sounds, because that's gonna be the best bet. I actually have the Stellaris soundtrack. So sampling that should probably be pretty straightforward. Like it's over in a file in Steam. I also probably can get it here. But that's the whole thing, is it? Because they're selling it. Well, maybe. Okay, yeah, that sound is going right alongside the mention of the 1,000-hour plus community. That's how we're doing that. And that'll be our transition out. Perfect. Alrighty, awesome. I like it. It's got moxie. Let's get those in there. I don't know if we'll use them for anything, but I can be in the folder. I went looking. I spent like a solid, I don't know, like 20 minutes, probably significantly longer than that, looking through here, trying to find the X-Files, like, you know, like the you're like, ooh, I can't do it off the top of my head, but and I've been experiencing that emotion. Because, yeah, every sound effect in the world, but except for the one sound effect that I was wanting to try and find. That's a very compelling sound. And it actually justifies using stereo, so we'll probably try to include that if at all possible. The sound design in this game is really good. It kind of... It's not well served by the fact that it's a Paradox game. Okay. Trying to be nice, you know? There's always room to be nice, that's what it is. Gosh, it would be nice to hear that in my game. Like, no joke. I just, it's part of the DLC. An archaeology event with a laser trap? That sounds cool as fuck. Okay, but that's talking. I can't have like actual talking from the sound effects. It's not gonna work. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, that's definitely going in one of the pauses though.